We've helped hundreds of head teachers and other senior leaders navigate through both day-to-day and complex HR matters to achieve the best outcome for them. Based on this experience, we have some tips for you to minimise potential problems and get the best out of staff.
Using informal processes can prevent performance or behaviour deteriorating and can avoid the need for formal action. Get to know your staff to understand what factors or drivers may influence their behaviour. Talk to them if you have concerns. Listen to them and don't prejudge the issue. Where necessary, put support and development opportunities in place with clear targets and timescales. This gives you evidence and measurement, so keep records of conversations. Be clear on the consequences of an employee failing to meet targets.
Developing your senior leaders will help you create a stronger team, allowing you to delegate more effectively and empower others by giving them more responsibility. Take time to discover their individual strengths and utilise these by matching them to tasks and responsibilities. Clarify who is responsible for which people management activities. Have an eye to their career development aspirations when delegating work. This will help to keep senior staff engaged.
There will be times when you have to deal with the conduct or behaviour of a member of staff which will challenge you and cause you to react emotionally. You can try to manage this better by separating emotion from process, being objective and focusing on facts and evidence. Accept that sometimes you have to make tough decisions that will upset others, but aim to put these into effect as humanely and fairly as possible.
Reduce the risk of poor performance or misconduct by setting clear expectations of staff. Have up-to-date and well-communicated policies in place, including attendance management, social media use, child protection and staff behaviour. Be able to evidence how a member of staff knows they should or shouldn't conduct themselves at work. Make sure appraisal is well embedded, that appraisers are well trained and robust in their approach.
By tolerating inappropriate conduct or poor performance, you are indicating that this behaviour is acceptable. The longer you leave it, the harder it is to address. Fully assess the history of a situation, gather evidence, set an agenda and allow the employee enough time to respond. Link the dialogue to the issue and not the person, and listen properly to what they have to say without jumping in.
Have the right processes in place to attract and retain the best staff. It will save time and money. Think about who you want to attract and what your school or college can offer them in return. Ensure your pre-appointment process is robust and in line with safer recruitment practices. Implement an induction program to set expectations and aid familiarisation with policies and the work culture. Prioritise the CVD of staff and don't forget employee well-being. Ensuring a supportive culture is in place is a key part of any staff retention strategy.
Managing people well and with due regard to employment law is complex. Get support when you need it and ask for advice at an early stage. It's better to delay action and be fully prepared first, particularly around absence, where there can be complex equality legislation to take into account. Remember, you can't expect to know everything, and there are specialists that can ease the burden, give you possible options to consider, and act as a sounding board when you need another point of view.
Policies and procedures provide useful frameworks and make sure you meet minimum legislative requirements, especially those covering discipline and capability matters, attendance, appraisal, grievances, pay and redundancy. And when you have a procedure, follow it every time. A dismissal can be found to be automatically unfair on a procedural basis alone, so take HR advice early on.